Okay, we live.
All right, Shalawam, Yasharala. It's Great Millstone, New Orleans, coming back at y'all with another live lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect. So this is going to be a routine spiritual gut check for brothers that are, in the faith, maybe getting weak, brothers going through different things. It's always important to remember your first love and to examine yourself daily. We have a lot going on. Prophecies are popping off the page. Now is not the time to be lukewarm. Now is not the time to be playing games and taking the ministry for granted. Brothers should be more and more serious as we approach Jacob's trouble. So we're going to start with that Sirach.
God, this is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 18, verse 20. Before judgment, examine thyself, and in the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy.
Right. So self-examination goes with mercy. Right. If you examine yourself first and foremost, on a daily basis, you prevent brothers from having to rebuke you, and more importantly, you prevent the Lord from having to destroy you if you examine yourself. So, brothers know what we're supposed to be doing. All right, reading, studying, daily communication, being brotherly, just being a man of the Lord. All right, we have an infinite amount of examples in the scriptures of how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. So that's the measure we're supposed to meet. And you got to examine yourself and compare yourself with the scriptures to make sure you're on point.
You mind if I read verse 27?
You got it up.
Just to back you up, a wise man will fear in everything. And, going back to that verse 20, it says, before judgment, examine thyself. And how do you examine yourself? With this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which gives you the do's and don'ts on what you need to do in order to please Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI in the ministry. A wise man will fear in everything, and in the day of sinning, when you get those demons plaguing your mind, or you start leaning too much on the flesh, and in your spirit, I want to do this, but I'm feeling hesitant about it because I know it might have an issue with the truth. In the day of sinning, he will beware of offense. If you're truly examining yourself, the truth is going to slingshot you back in the right direction. But a fool will not observe the time.
Con, that's a beautiful point, because the main thing we struggle with once we come into the knowledge is not necessarily sin as far as blatantly breaking commandments. It's doing things that are technically lawful but take you out of the truth. Apostle Paul said all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. For brothers that are sincere, they're not struggling with eating pork chops or committing adultery or things like that. It's easy to put off, blatant transgressions, but what's difficult to put off is when you examine yourself and you see, okay, there's something it could be a hobby, it could be an interest, it could be a pastime, it could be a vice that's technically lawful, but it's taking up your time, it's preventing you from reading, it's preventing you from doing the things you need to do. Putting off something that's lawful but technically not a sin, that's really the real battle. That's the real struggle. Like I said, for sincere brothers, all right, you have niggas, but actually a sincere brother, he's not struggling with whether or not he should commit adultery. That's a given. He might be struggling with, alcohol or video games or the apps, women, whatever. It could be being in the world, seeking that next promotion. It could be something that's totally lawful. But for you, it's something that's a distraction. And those are the things we have to be mindful of. That was a good scripture out the water.
You mind? One. Oh,
I got one, but I was gonna say too, because it's funny. The elder from Dallas, Elder Ariala, just made a video. And, and brother's kind of been on this for a while too. He's talking about playing injured, all right? And we all have something going on. We all have something, whether it's something with the body plaguing us, something, with our minds, different stuff like that. Well, you gotta live with that particular thing in order to keep going on. Like he made the analogy of like a heavyweight boxer or boxing in general. Most time they go into a fight with an injury already, but they disguise that injury still to fight on, whether win to lose or draw. Same thing for any sport that we do. You going in there with something on you that's not a full 100%, and we in this spiritual battle, we not 100%. All right, but you got to learn to adjust and adapt to what's ever going on with you, man. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. You have one, Ryan? You want to make a point?
Yeah, I just this chapter 18 is one of my favorite chapters. I'm gonna just read one more in there, verse 30. Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites.
Yeah. Kind. Lust goes into your desires, right? Your appetite goes into the pit of your soul, the things you want the most. And if something you want most takes you away from the truth, you need to cut that off. And that's the hardest thing to do. Again, it's not going to be giving up shrimp. It's not going to be, giving up adultery. Those things, that's going to come natural when you start fearing the Lord. But when you in the truth and you find yourself, man, I haven't read in weeks. I haven't studied. I haven't taken the time out to just be with the Lord in weeks. You got to examine yourself. That's a problem.
Yeah, I got this one right here. I
Okay.
just get I go one above and get straight to the point. This is First Corinthians chapter 4 verse 2. It says, "Moreover, it is certain in the stewards that a man be found faithful." This is the point. It says, "But what with me, it is a very small thing that I should be judge of you, or of man's judgment. Yea, I judge not my own self."
Okay. Like if you judging everybody else, you judging different matters, but you can't judge yourself. You basically not profitable to yourself. You run the fear of being a reprobate. If you in that spirit of that this is what this brother doing wrong, that's what he's doing wrong, that's what he's doing wrong, but you never, like we were going into yesterday. I got that Matthew 7. Jay got the mote in their eye. They
Yeah,
got a
man.
whole beam in their eye. Like that's off. Matter of
Yeah,
fact, we might have to get the.
you just
I,
see something's off, especially when countless numbers of brothers are kind of telling you, "Hey, this is this from the outside looking in. This is what I see." Is like it's basically like an elephant in the room. And you don't see the same thing or put yourself in the same mind frame. And I'm gonna tell you something too. A lot of things in the truth. When a brother, you and a brother kind of interacting, or brothers kind of interacting, and then, like I say, things come down on you. A judgment or a rebuke come down on you. You got to put yourself in those men's shoes too, and try to see it from that angle. Same thing. Same thing for the ones that's kind of coming down. You got to put yourself like, what made him think that, or what made him do this. But go ahead.
That's another important point. We all been rebuked. Me myself. When you rebuke, your first thought is to defend yourself. Like, wait, what? But like the elder just said, you got to ask yourself why are they rebuking this? What are they noticing? Even if you don't see it that particular way, obviously it's something you're doing to cause a brother's not going to rebuke you for no reason. All right, especially down here, we brothers super merciful. You get a rebuke. You're supposed to take that as, okay, this is something I'm clearly not seeing in myself. The YAHAWASHI for having men around me that can correct me and point out certain flaws, because that's how we ultimately gonna get onto the chariot, is to purging the old man and purging the flaws that we have. So it's important to have a body of men that can point those things out. But let me get this real quick. This for you, Art. This is Matthew 7:2. It says, "For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?" Yeah,
Yep. You
that's
you
that.
you're pointing the finger at that brother, but you got a laundry list of shit that's probably far worse than his, man.
Yeah,
Right? And you're not even uh uh you're not even fighting with, or trying to even you know get a hold of, man. But you got everything else to say about other brothers, man. And like I said, that's something that we all got to battle. We all have to come to the realization of.
yeah. It says, "Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, Let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out," and here's where self-examination comes into play. "Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye."
Yeah, man. That's plain. That's pretty much plain right there.
Yeah. But if you can give me Hebrews, right? If you give me Hebrews 6 and 11.
God. And I got one to back up that Matthew and the point y'all were making.
Con, you can get yours first.
Oh, God. Just to back up what your brothers were saying, Jake can get into a mode to where he's rebuking others, and he's showing that he has an understanding of the scriptures, but he's not, applying them to himself as well. So he's being a hypocrite. This is Sirach 37 and 19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself.
Yeah, unprofitable to himself. All right. You learn all these scriptures, get all these breakdowns, you highlight the whole Bible, you got a composition book full of notes, you go into the history, you can break down this word, you go into the Hebrew, but you don't know how to be a brother. That's you unprofitable. You are not going to make it into a chariot if you don't know how to be a brother. So you learn the scriptures to rebuke Jake, but you're also Jake. Jake forget we came into the world, we came into the truth out of the world. So we have impurities on us. We have things that make us unclean, and this word is what cleanses us. So you using the word to cleanse everybody else. What about you?
If I could, back you up, going back to the premise of this lesson, a spiritual gut check. It says this word is as a two-edged sword. You can cut people with it, but you can get cut yourself. And if you're constantly getting cut and not taking heed to the wounds, you're going to bleed out to death spiritually.
God.
Like if you're being a hypocrite and not actually applying this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to yourself as well, to purge your dross and make yourself a better man, the Most High is going to spew you out of his mouth.
Yeah, the scriptures don't have anything favorable to say about a hypocrite. That's one of the worst things you could be through the spirit. You acting, you putting on a show for the camera, you putting on a show to get views, to get likes, to be, a YouTube Israelite. The Lord's not dealing with that. And, brothers through the spirit, fervent brothers, we can't wait till YouTube is shut down, till social media is shut down, and these people lose their minds. We're not focused on going viral and hitting the algorithm. We're focused on getting on a chariot.
I got one.
You
got something? Go ahead.
Oh, I had that. I would just had that Matthew 6 and 11 for YAHAWAH.
Hebrews 6 and 11.
Oh, Hebrews 6. Okay.
Real quick, Raya, get 1 Corinthians 13 and 1 and read down to about about 4 is cool for the brother. I was looking for this other one. I'm kind of going between them. I'm looking for another scripture that come to my mind, but this is the one that came up first.
Yeah, that's the one right there. This is 1 Corinthians 13 and 1. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
You go ahead, Alvin, while you can break it down. I'm looking for this other one though.
Read the 2.
Verse 2. 1 Corinthians 13 and 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understandeth all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing.
Yeah, and this is one of the most powerful. This is something that should cut every brother that's super diligent in the scriptures. It's telling you you could learn all of this, learn all of that. You can learn the prophecies, the breakdowns. You can understand the mysteries that less than 1% of people in the world right now understand. You go into the virgin birth, the different breakdowns of ancient Babylon versus the daughter of Babylon. All of these hidden mysteries that are only revealed unto his servants, the prophets. You could have all that knowledge and wisdom, but if you don't have charity, if you don't love your brother, it's nothing. It's almost as like, it really is worse than being a 2/3. It's worse than being in the world because they don't know anything. They don't know any better. Here it is, you know the scriptures, and you can't be a brother to other men that know the scriptures. That's a serious problem.
Verse 3. And though I bestow all...
I can bring this one out real fast. Galatians 6 and 3. For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But go ahead.
Yeah, he deceived himself. You come into the truth. Here it is. You were nigga your whole life. You find out you're Israelite. You watch videos. You learn the breakdowns. You learn the scriptures. Now in your mind, you think you're on the level of an elder, you on the level of this brother, that brother, but you got brothers over you. All right, you have brothers that have been in the truth longer than you. You have brothers that are wiser than you. You need to take heed to that. You got it out.
You got it.
Verse 3, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
And this is how you know the charity in the Bible has nothing to do with giving to the homeless, giving to the poor. It just told you, read it again. It's going to tell you giving to the poor is not charity. That's not the charity that the Lord's dealing with.
1 Corinthians 13:3, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing.
Right. Charity in the scriptures is agape, is brotherly love. All right. If you give money to homeless people, all right, you give money to this nonprofit organization, but you a nigger, you're not trustworthy to brothers, you a miser, you wicked, you unmerciful, then it's nothing. All of your so-called good deeds are in vain because you're not a brother to the body.
Verse 4.
Yeah, that one heavy though. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up.
Yeah, that's a headbanger for the YouTube Israelites. Okay, it says charity envieth not. You're not supposed to envy. Okay, this brother got 2,300 views on his last video. Okay, when he goes live, he has 100 people. I have 30. I need to give him that's a totally off spirit to be in. All right, if you're approaching this truth like a content creator on YouTube, you bugged out, man. If you're a podcast Hebrew, all right, you ain't right, man. You're envying. First of all, when you look at what's popular on YouTube, it's folly. So if your channel is blowing up, that's not a good sign. But it says, charity vaunted not itself, is not puffed up. And that's, through the Spirit, all of us, we were watered. All right, a brother may have planted, but YAHAWASHI watered and made us grow. So there's, how do you brag on something that was freely given unto you? The gift that was given to you by YAHAWASHI is not of yourself. So there's no need to brag. Oh, I know this breakdown. I know all of these scriptures. Jake is in the wrong spirit, man.
It's gonna sit. Let me see. You got 4, right?
Con.
You finish it out?
Con.
They said, but it's not puffed up, And a lot of times Jake get puffed up too when they do find out the mysteries of the Most High's knowledge, and they think they know something to where they get the big head, and that's not the spirit to be in this thing. All right, having the spirit of the big head, you being that overly competitive competition mode with your brother, man, and it's not even about that. All right, I'm gonna find this out, or I'm gonna just be overboard all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about that, bro.
Yeah.
Got a precept up.
Just real quick, it can happen easily because we can find these people in the world that are so-called scholars. We can find these pastors, these people that go to church 30, 40 years, 50 years. We can find them easily with 1 or 2 scriptures that could puff a man's head up. But you got to remember where the truth came from. You didn't come up with it yourself. Like, what is Jake thinking? But you got it, right?
Kind. Hey, YAHAWASHI warned about what, being in that puffed up spirit and, wanting to be seen and just, make this thing about yourself and not, make it about what it truly is. Going back to that 1 Corinthians 13, charity, which is ultimately what? Brotherly love. But this is Matthew 23, and I'm going to jump around a bit. This is Matthew 23. I'm going to read verse 1 to 2. Then spake YAHAWASHI to the multitude and to the disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. And we know Moses was what? He was the leader of Israel at the time. He was in a chief position. And, backing up with the knowledge puffing up, you start to think that you think of yourself as nothing. You start to think of yourself as something that you're not. that, oh, I know more than this brother that, came in after me. Oh, well, shit. I'm gonna start questioning older brothers because I think I'm on a level. Why am I not in this position? Or, shit, people should be listening to me. I might have to break off and do my own thing. I'm gonna jump to.
'Cause I didn't seen guys do that over the years where they um they in a way have a relationship with the apostles or in the apostles camp or whatever like that, and you have guys that they get to the point where they think they surpass the elders, man. All right, and then it gets into that mode where things are getting kind of disrespectful, And Rich, like I said, you'll never be on those men level, all the brothers that's before you. Like we always say, when you think you got to their level, they on another level, man. All right, and let's just say you are on a level that you have surpassed your elders or whatever. You still be humble about that shit, man. That's still your elders or your men that's before you. Like we say that your master. It's like if you was Daniel's son, all right, and Mr. Miyagi, all right. If Daniel got to a point where he's learning whatever he's learning for us, fighting and shit like that, you still give reverence and respect to your elders. They're still the men before you. All right. And then like I say, how can you compete with over 40 plus years? And if you put those men together, they got over 100, close to 200 years of experience. How can you fight against that one person when you just came along fucking 5, 10, however years ago, man? You can't compete with that. But go ahead, Op.
Yeah, and that's
You,
something
you,
Jake understands. Oh, you got it.
oh, no, no, you got it.
Yeah, that's something Jake understands in the world. I'm pretty sure when Mike Tyson was a teenager, he could have beat up Customato, but that was still his teacher. That was still his master. They have a greater understanding of that in the Eastern world. You have a kung fu master, he might be 60, 70 years old, he's still reverenced. But then Jake and the truth, oh man, the scriptures say I know more than my elders. Like, I don't mean that, man. But you got it right.
Hey, they had that story where, it was Tony Romo and Tom Brady. I'm not too familiar with people in football, but whatever quarterback was mentoring Tony Romo, he was also mentoring Tom Brady. And Tony Romo thought he had it all, but Tom Brady actually listened to what this quarterback who had experience had to say. And look who's the more well known quarterback out there. Look who's got more Super Bowl rings and who's in a better position. Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Yeah, nobody remembers Tony Romo, man. All right.
But this
yeah,
is
you might be a spiritual Tony Romo, but you got it.
I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna leave that. This and 5, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments
Yeah,
and
it's
love
crazy.
the uppermost rooms. Oh,
Yeah, you have a whole
you got it.
Israelite camp that does this. All right, we don't need to say their names, but they intentionally enlarging their borders. They do everything to be seen of men. They have special effects to try to look like Moses. Literally, this chapter could really be about specific men on the earth right now. Literally,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Kind the Tony Romos of Israel
Yeah,
and enlarge the borders of their garments and love the uppermost rooms at feasts. Hey, to back you up, Yakina, brothers have been talking about that guy. He's before my generation, that element guy. How at the Passover, he sat next to the apostles, and the brothers that were there said he had a proud look on his face, like I'm a holier than thou fellow.
Oh yeah, he was
man.
he was a he was a handful, man.
And where is he now? He taught a
And
lot of men. He rebuked a lot of men. He learned a lot of mysteries, but he wasn't brotherly. The Lord got rid of him.
hey, there's one that's of great understanding and teacheth others, but is a detriment to himself.
Yeah.
And loved the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues and greetings in the markets. And these YouTube comment sections, they can be like the markets now. And to be called of men. Rabbi.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want titles. All right. Well, who's what rank is this? What rank am I? They seeking preeminence in this world. They want a title in Esau's kingdom, man.
Gone.
You got that Hebrews?
Khan, I got you. This is Hebrews 6:11. And we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end.
Right. We desire that every one of you show the same diligence to full assurance of hope. And our hope, which the word hope is elpis in the Greek, which means expectation. We expect a reward. Yahushua says he's going to reward every man according to his works. So we want to put in work. All right. That's if you have faith and you believe Yahushua is coming back and he is coming back with rewards, then you will want to be rewarded for what you're doing. You wouldn't say, yeah, I'm an Israelite. I know about Deuteronomy 28:68. Jesus is black and I'm good. Or I know this camp. I'm cool with this brother. He's a man of the Lord. He's fervent in the scriptures, and I know him, so I'm good. Like, what are you doing? What kind of spirit are you in? You don't want your own reward? What kind of man wants another man? Like in the world, that's weird. You got a partner that's really good at something, or he hit a lick, he started a business. You just hanging around with your hand out. You're not even trying to help. You're not trying to work. You just you want your man to make it so he can give you money like a woman, man. That's spiritually, like that's what a lot of men are doing. All right, this brother know all the breakdowns. I'm gonna just hang around him. Well, you got to learn them too. You got to learn and teach what you're doing.
Yeah, because you catch
Groupie.
that from a lot of guys. Well, like I said, you got a lot of guys that you can see the spirit of. I remember one of my football coaches used to say it all the time. What he used to see in the room with us, you had guys just going through with the motion. They're just really there. They're just kind of really there, going through with the motions. And like I say too, he putting his truth in their back pocket. Meaning, I know and believe the truth, but I got my mind is on some other shit. But I'm gonna keep this in my back pocket just in case it goes down. Just in case things that y'all talking about really happen, I can just pull it out and just jump back into the motion. Shit don't work like that, man.
Yeah, like Bart Simpson. Niggas waiting. Niggas know about the scriptures. There's gonna be some that come in the 12th hour, so I'm gonna just wait till the 12th hour. That's bugged out, man.
Yeah, you don't do that. I'm gonna
Keep
play
going,
like that.
Hebrews 6:12. That ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
Right. There are men on this earth right now that are going to inherit the promises. There are men, Yahushua said it himself, there be some standing here which shall not taste death. There's actual men in the body that are going to get beamed up on a chariot, given spiritual power, all these things. Some brothers are going to get the power, during Jacob's trouble. Some of them are going to get the power in the kingdom. But the point is that there's actual men on the earth right now that fit that prophecy. You're supposed to follow those men. You're supposed to pattern yourself after those men. And what are those men doing? They're fervent in the truth. They're fervent in teaching and being brotherly and being men of the Lord. You're supposed to pattern yourself after that. You're not supposed to identify the men of the Lord and then say, well, that's just them over there. I don't have to do all that. I'm just that help demon. All right. I know these guys are the men of the Lord. I just want to be a help. Like there are some men that are helps. Okay, but you don't make yourself, you don't tell the Lord, I'm just gonna do this much. I'm gonna do the absolute bare minimum because that's my life. That don't work like that, man.
Hey, if I could say, circumstances, you got to be in the mindset that if I do end up being a help, that's because I tried. I tried to go out and teach and be around brothers and be a prophet, but the spirit had it to where I was a help. You shouldn't just go in being content with being, I'm content with being on the side, or being a help, or being a orbiter around the men of the Lord.
Yeah, that's like going in the boxing gym and being like, look, I just want to be the guy that brings the water and the mouth guards. At some point, you're gonna have men that do that, but a lot of them were previously boxers. They learned the craft. All right, some of the best coaches, some of the best, assistant managers, ring guys, they actually know how to box. They didn't just show up one day. Look, I just want to do the bare minimum, and I want to tie Floyd shoes. What kind of spirit is that?
That's like fucking lifting weights and hoping not to get strong or get big. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is you doing?
yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym every day and just lift pink dumbbells. Like who drives to the gym to lift pink? Like what are you doing? But that's what Jake is doing in the truth. You got Jakes that go to camp every Saturday just to not prophesy. Like what are we doing?
Yeah, you should be in that spirit, man. When the way where you see the different brothers before you in the spirit and bringing it out, different stuff. You should be in that same mindset. All right, growing in the spirit, learning these scriptures. All right, assured in the scriptures, well, you can hold your own to bring it out. To read for brothers, and whatever spirit it may be. All right, you should be wanting. You should be wanting to be in that spirit of growing, not being stagnant, man. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, certain brothers have different spirits. Certain brothers are more extroverted, outgoing, boisterous. Certain brothers are more reserved. Their personalities are kind of low key. Like when I first came out, I had no idea that I would ever be bringing it out, but I knew I was supposed to get it in. I knew I was supposed to read. I knew I was supposed to be in the body. I knew I was supposed to be active. And then the spirit just had it that I started bringing it out. A lot of you Jakes that are more reserved, you have this idea that, oh, the Lord ain't dealing with me as much as this man, because this man is louder. He has a more like charismatic manner of speech. Not even realizing that once you get into the truth, that inner you is gonna come out. The Lord will actually make you. He did that with Moses. Moses was like, look, I got a stutter, I got a speech impediment. Well, he ended up being a great man of the Lord. All right. If you understand who Moses is, he's the man. All right.
Yeah, like we say down here, if you're a brother that's kind of quiet and reserved, and you gotta learn to be have that drive to be more boisterous. You know what I'm saying? Be the brother that talk more. If you're a brother that's loud, and you gotta learn to tone it down a little bit. It's a balance to it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we're jointly fit. The Lord is actually bringing us together to make a beautiful, like a puzzle piece that's coming together.
Right.
We spiritual Voltrons, man, for brothers who are super old. You remember that? you have powerful beings, but they would come together and create something that's indestructible. That's what the Lord is doing with this ministry. So whatever your strengths and weaknesses are, we balance each other out.
And they were all lions in Voltron.
God. But yeah, read Baba Gashai. Read 12 and then 13.
Khan. This is Hebrews 6 and 12. That ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 13. For when the Most High made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he sware by himself.
Right. The Most High made promises to the nation of Israel, and he swore by himself. So if you believe that should give you all the confidence you need. The Most High, the creator of heaven and earth, said that I'm going to be a king, a priest, and a judge. He said, I'm going to take down my enemies. I'm going to make my enemies my footstool. The Lord's going to do that for me. That should fill you with zeal, passion. Any that shy spirit is not, that ain't what it is, man. These scriptures should make you bold. The scriptures say the righteous are as bold as lions. And it's the spirit. The brother put the Ephesians 4, as I was saying, and he was putting it. That's the spirit, man. All right, Ephesians 4. Let me read this real quick. 4 and 16. He put the NLT as well. He says he makes the whole body fit together perfectly. As each part does its own special work, it helps the other parts grow. And that's how the body edifies itself in love. Whatever you're weak in, another brother's strong in that area. Another brother, you looking at which that goes back to envying. You shouldn't be envying brothers. So you're looking at a brother he's mighty in this area. The Lord has weaknesses in that area for that brother. So you might have a strength that could help that brother, but you're too busy looking at him like, well, he's great at this and that. You're looking at your own shortcomings, not even realizing why the Lord brought you into ministry. You have to believe that, Jake. Why did the Lord give you his name? All right, how many people are calling on YAHAWASHI? He gave you his name. He gave you a camp of men that believe in the scriptures. There's some gift that you have, whether you know it or not. There's some gift that you're going to bring to the ministry.
Yeah, you can't look at the men before you as competition either. It took hard work and dedication to get to that. You know, long hours of studying and different things you see. All right, like when you back in that era when we were really bringing books and stuff out, articles and stuff to the camp. That took time to get to that point, man. It took dedication to get to that point, and you can't just look at that and just think you can just you know pop that in the microwave and just start doing it. That takes hard work to go study and find out certain scriptures and words and understanding certain dark you know dark understanding of the scriptures. All right, you gotta get yourself to a point where you building yourself up little by little to where you get to that point. But you gotta apply yourself. You can't just be writing down notes and don't never go even apply the notes to yourself. Reading and studying, man. Go ahead, Up.
Hey, that's a oh.
You got it.
I'm just gonna back you up, Yakina. That's a key point. Don't don't be comparing yourself to other men. Appreciate what those men bring to the table, but don't let that overwhelm you. Don't let that be like, oh, I'm never gonna get on that level, so I might as well not even try. Every man had to take that first step, and then they kept walking in the direction, and they're at where they're at. So you got to take that initiative and take that first step. And if you're sincere and Yahawah bahasham, Yahawah is dealing with you, he's going to reveal exactly where you need to be, and
He's
you're
gonna
going to utilize that role. Oh,
he's gonna add on to you. Those talents that you got. You might have to work 2 or 3 talents, man, and the Lord add on to it, or add on to it if He see fit. All right, but you got to work what you got now. You can't look at other brothers for what they have, and then you know, have some type of bad understanding of what he got. He got what he got because of the Lord found it fit for him to have that. All right, it's sufficient for the body. You just got to work what you got. All right, then you got to be hungry for it. You got to really be in that spirit of being hungry for more too, wanting to do more. Go ahead.
Right, if you can give me Proverbs 18 and 16, and again, this is going for younger brothers that aren't really sure what they bring to the ministry. You got to have faith that the Lord brought you into this thing to contribute to the body. You can't look at elders and be like, oh, they got it all already. What can I do? What I can't I can't possibly add to this. They know everything. No, the Lord gave you a gift. It's like it. The Lord gave you a gift. You got it up.
this is Proverbs 18 and 16. A man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men.
Right. It says a man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. And I brought desire, we're of that number. All right. If you're amongst the body of men, you have to look at those as those are possibly the men of YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. So if you're being brought before great men, what does that mean? That means you have a gift. The Lord gave you a gift. You may not be able to identify what it is right now. You may lack confidence and not be sure. Okay, where do I fit in with this whole puzzle right here? What piece do I bring to this puzzle? But you have to have faith that you have a gift, because otherwise, why would you be here? You have something, Jake. You got something in you. But on the subject of younger brothers coming in, this is this First Timothy. I'm gonna read it in NLT. This First Timothy 4:11. It says, "Teach these things and insist that everyone learn them. Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, and your love, your faith, and your purity. Until I get there, focus on reading the scriptures to the church, encouraging the believers, and teaching them. Do not neglect the spiritual gift you received through the prophecy spoken over you when the elders of the church laid their hands on you." So you're not supposed to despise your youth. You're not supposed to look at this as, okay, they're men that are before me. They have all the scriptures. They have all this knowledge. What can I bring to the table? I don't really know. You're supposed to look at it as, okay, the Lord set these men up to teach me, and I'm going to be teaching others one day. That's the ultimate, the goal is to reach the full measure. Going back to that Ephesians, the 4th chapter, you're supposed to reach the full measure of YAHAWASHI. It's not about these men got it, I don't need to get it. No, like the elder just said, you're supposed to have a hunger. You're supposed to have a voracious appetite for the truth, to devour the scriptures.
Hey, go into Romans the 6th chapter and the 8th verse. I believe go into that.
Shalawam. Yahawah Shema Shabbat.
Shalawam.
You said Romans 6?
That goes into two, quenching not the spirit, man. You can read. I think it's round 6. You can go down a couple of verses, like all right, 8 or 9 or something like that. I remember. Let me see something. Let me go to it. That goes into exactly what you're saying.
But yeah, just if you're a younger brother, man, don't look at it as these men got it all. They got it all. I don't need to get it, or they got it all. I can't possibly have, what they have. It's not about having what we have. It's about expanding on the gift that YAHAWASHI gave you.
Hey, start at 3, brother.
It's Romans 6, verse 3. Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Yahawashi Mashiach, were baptized into his death? Therefore, we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as a Mashiach was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life.
Where you at?
Romans 6 and 3 and 4.
Oh, my bad. It's 12 and 3.
Come on.
12 and 3. Read down to about 8.
Come on. Yeah, I've got to start at the top with Romans 12. Romans 12.
If you want to.
Okay. 12 and 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, which is what we do, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that we may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. And that's what the ministry is about. It says, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members of one of another. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. That's plain. Having gifts differing. All right, a man's gift maketh room for him. So when you're brought before great men, you have a gift, whether you know what it is or not, whether you but the Lord's not going to, like we say all the time, the Lord's not going to personally open a cloud and whisper to you, hey, Jamal, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, it's going to be revealed to you in time, but you have to have confidence. You have to have faith. It says, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith.
Keep going.
Or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching.
Ooh.
Or he that exhorteth on exhortation, or he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Yeah, this is all like plain, straightforward. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love. There it is again, the charity, the agape, in honor, preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving Yahweh Bahasham YAHAWASHI. That's the mission statement, man. All right, you're supposed to be fervent in spirit and serving the Lord. You're not supposed to be comparing yourself one to another, like the brother put. Comparison is the thief of joy. How can you ever be content if you're constantly comparing yourself to another man that has another spirit than you? He has another gift. He has another, like it says here, a proportion of faith. All right, we all have our proportion of faith. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to another's.
Right. You got a totally different office, a totally different part of the work, different than you. His load might be heavier than yours,
Yeah. Brothers have different ailments for different reasons. Brothers have different trials. All right, everybody's trial is specific to them. The Lord put forth a gauntlet of things that you have to go through and deal with that's specific to you. You can't look at another man and say, well, look, he did that. How come he got that? How come certain brothers have things, man. Certain brothers have nicer cars. Certain brothers have different physical ailments. Certain brothers are more healthy. Certain brothers are just different, man. You can't be comparing yourself to other men. That'll drive you crazy. The Lord doesn't want us to all be the same exact. Like this ain't. We're not Muslim, all right. Ishmael, you got a million niggas all named Muhammad, and they all the same. The Lord ain't dealing with that, man. We have different personalities, different strengths and weaknesses, and we come together to make the body stronger.
I got a precept to back you up.
You got it.
You about to say something, Yakana?
Oh no.
Yeah, Wadia, I saw he posted it, a little bit of it in the chat earlier, but I'm gonna read a little further down in 1 Corinthians 12. I'm gonna start at 14. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? Comparing, what you were just going into, brothers comparing, their talents or their lot to another talent or lot. And, they may feel dissuaded, like, man, how can I be a part of the ministry if this brother's on this level and he knows this stuff that I would like to know? Well, that's that brother's lot to know that. That's that brother's ability. And your ability benefits the body where you need it to benefit. Like, where you excel is where another brother may lack, and vice versa. But y'all all come together to make that strong, healthy immune system.
Yeah,
Verse 7.
imagine if your pinky toe went around like, look, that's the knee. The knee, man, the knee is so far up there. I can never, you're a toe. All right, people might think, oh, a toe is insignificant till you bump your toe. You realize how important it is, how sensitive it is.
So
All
you
right, people
lose
that
that.
lose toes, they lose their balance.
Yeah, till you lose that motherfucker, and you see how that little bitty toe sways your balance all the way. Your whole shit, your whole equilibrium. How you say librium?
Equilibrium, yeah.
Throw all the way off, man. From the Achilles, the toe, the big toe, all those play a drastic part in the structure and the fitting of the body, man. All right, you're there for a reason. You were, like the brother said earlier, you was picked for a reason. So obviously, the Lord found it fit for you to be a part of the body for some reason. You know. Now, like I say, we always say too. Certain men are brought in this thing for salvation for a reason, and certain men are here for judgment too. But that goes into many a call but few are chosen. A lot of guys are called, but few gonna be chosen. But you gotta be intertwined with the body. Happy that I'm happy to just to be in the body, brother. You know, if I'm a ear, cool. I'm gonna play that part as the ear. All right, it just is what it is.
Man, if you don't have one of your five senses, you thrown off. Like your equilibrium's thrown off. But this is verse 16. And if the ear shall say, because I am not of the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? So, the Most High likes diversities. He likes diversity of talents amongst brothers, because imagine if all the brothers just had one topic of the scriptures and every brother was like that and an expert in it, and somebody came up asking about another topic of the truth and they didn't know what to say. that would just There would be no edifying. There would be, it would just be, it would negate its, positive abilities. So the Most High has these diversities of things, and that's how you got to look at it. The Lord gave me my particular ability. So what? I'm gonna utilize it, and as the elder brother said earlier, the Most High is gonna add unto you and build unto you, but you gotta have the faith and trust in the process.
I want to say something too, because if you just say you are a brother, you're weaker in the spirit. Brothers could definitely see that you bring the gift of being a help, but being a help also you have to know the basics, meaning the milk. All right, you bring something to the table, but also you got to know the basics too. Well, that ain't my job. That's for the men that's in front of me to know all those deep. At least I'm gonna know the milk, and then like I said, just being knowing the milk, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take time and have myself on a pace to know more than just that too. I'm not just gonna settle for less. That's why the scripture talks about what it says, um, striving for the mastery. All right, but go ahead.
You have more on that Corinthians?
Con.
Yeah,
If the
more.
whole
Go
if
ahead.
the whole if the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now hath the Most High set the members, every one of them in the body, as it hath pleased him.
Ooh.
Straight to the point. The Most High, he set up everything how he wants it to be set up. And he's saying what? There are many members that come together to form one body, and that's how I want it.
If I can say real quick, we go into Romans 9 all the time to bring out, who had resisted as well. The Most High can fashion he can fashion clay into be a pot to hold flowers, or he can fashion it to be a toilet. And, we go into that to talk about the difference between Jacob and Esau, but there's also a difference between different brothers in different offices. You can't tell the Lord, why you made me this, why you made me this way, why you made me nearsighted, why you made me this. Like, we're a creation. All right. You should be grateful to be in the ministry at all. You shouldn't be like, how come I can't be like this man? How come I can't do this like that, brother? Like, that's off. You got it?
And we could read all the way down to the end of the chapter, but for sake of time, I'll just read verse 23. For younger brothers and those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness.
That's how you pour in the young brothers. That's how they get on the level. And once you're around here for a while, you can actually see a brother on the other side. You see him getting built up. You see him cross over. You see him get stronger in the faith. It's a beautiful thing to watch. It's a beautiful thing to be a part of. But that isn't just us. All right. It's also YAHAWASHI first and foremost, but it's also the brother taking that initiative, having that confidence, having that faith, and wanting it to grow.
That's you took the word in my mouth, man. That's a main thing too. Building confidence, man. Because when you start to build confidence, growth starts to happen too. All right. That's just within the spirit. All right. You gotta have confidence and belief in yourself, man. All right. Because you ain't got no confidence that you can study on this particular topic and grow from it, grow in the scriptures. All right. The breakdowns and just with yourself, because it's a knowing the scriptures is one thing, but then you got to have confidence in yourself too, off the camera. All right, having a drive to actually get this thing and live it. Confidence is a major part too, though. Go ahead. I want
Yeah,
to.
they say that saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You without confidence, how you gonna hit the game-winning shot? Nobody's even gonna pass it to you if you're not confident. You gotta get in the game, Jake. You have something you want to say, Kaya?
Yeah, nah, I got one for you.
Okay, you got it.
This is 2 Corinthians 10. You about this out?
No, we didn't bring it out.
Not 10, no.
I'm gonna start at 12, but the point is in 14, 15. I'm gonna read it down real quick. It says, "For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves. But they measure themselves by themselves, and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. But we will not." You gonna speak on it?
That's perfect. That's right on time. All right, we don't compare ourselves. We don't both like that's the opposite spirit to be in. The 2 Corinthians 10 is the exact opposite of appreciating how the body has different members and understanding every piece has its own purpose in the body. But once you start saying, well, look, I'm the ear, how come I can't be the eye? oh, he's the head. How come I can't be the head? You know, that's off. How's the body gonna function like that with all the parts envying each other? If you saw somebody walking down the street and their body parts were all envying each other, that they look crippled, they look paraplegic, they look bugged out. You got it out.
It says, we will not boast of the things without our measure, but according to the measure of the rule which our power had distributed to us, a measure to reach even unto you.
That goes back to that proportion of faith. Every man has his own portion. Imagine the level of faith that it took to be in the truth in the 90s, prophesying the downfall of Babylon the Great. The economy is at an all-time high. Every album comes out as platinum, as gold. You know, Jake's still getting married. Jake, you know, looks like America's all good. You on the corner in a garment talking about the Lord's going to come back to destroy this place. Those men were given a much greater portion of faith. And it is what it is. They were put in that position so that they could be the elders today. You come in the truth, you know, we go into this all the time, you know, every man in his own order. You came in when you came in for a reason. You have a gift, that's for a reason.
Another thing made Paul's letter so powerful is about when he sent it to those other churches, it was all in the growth and the help of those other churches. When things that he identified and seen, it was all for help them. All right, like, you know, for them to what? Grow more in the faith, which that's the goal. And a lot of men, I think, had this misconception of when you come in the truth, you want to level up on Bible knowledge, but Jake forget knowledge just to help, charity, like simple things. They omit the weightier matters, you know, and then sometimes that's that, you know, Jake don't know what's going on. It says, for we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reach not unto you, for we are come as far as to you also in preaching of Mashiach YAHAWASHI. 15 is the point. I'm going to get the 15 in the NLT too. It says, not boasting of the things without our measure, that is of other men's labors, but having hope when your faith is increased, that we shall be enlarged by you according to the rule abundantly. Now, let me get that in another translation. Bible shop. This is what I was reading. I ain't just want to read that one, but in the NLT it says, nor do we boast and claim credit for the work someone else has done. Instead, we hope that your faith will grow so that the boundaries of our work among you will be extended. And there's even another greater one. It says, but our faith is that as your faith increases, our area of influence among you be greatly enlarged. But it goes into the enlargement of your work through the magnifying of what? The knowledge, man. You got it, bro.
That's perfect. All right, you're not supposed to be in this truth like, look, they got all the knowledge and comparing yourself to that. No, the reason that the Lord gave them knowledge is to teach it to you so you can have it. Again, going back to Ephesians 4, we got to keep bringing that up to the full measure of Yahawashi Mashiach. We're all going to be made like unto Yahawashi. He's the prototype. We're all seeking that measure. We're not trying to measure this brother, that brother at the top, brother at the right. Come on, man. We all got our own strengths and weaknesses. We all got our things we got to work on. You can't look at another man and compare yourself to put yourself down or to boast yourself. It goes both ways. You got Jake that have, you know, lower self-esteem. They look at men like he's here and I'm here, and they beat themselves up. Then you got niggas that look at other men like, well, look, he's here and I know this much. I know that breakdown. He don't know that. You're not supposed to be doing this with brothers, man. That's off. Whether you're putting yourself down or exalting yourself, you're not supposed to compare yourself to another man to do something that's not edifying, man. Accept your lot for what it is and contribute to the body according to the measure of faith that's been given to you.
I remember that a couple of years ago, you had a bunch of brothers like, man, I ain't shit. No, you are something. You in the truth. You got to be something. You're not in the world, you know? God. You are something, man.
Yeah, that's that fake humility. Jake won't beat themselves up and be like, I ain't nobody. No, if you're one of those men, you're a VIP. You're a very important person. All right. But you're also surrounded by other men that are VIPs. So when it comes to people in the world, you're not supposed to walk around with your head down like, yeah, I ain't shit. I'm a sinner. I'm an Israelite. I went off. I broke the commandments. No, Yahawashi died so that you could be forgiven of that. All right. You are very important, Jake. But when you're around other Israelites, especially men that believe, those men are also important. So you humble yourself, but you don't beat yourself up, but you don't boast either. There's a balance, which again goes back to what the elder was saying earlier. It's all about confidence. Being confident, but not cocky, not arrogant, not boastful. All right, not being a braggart. Just a nigger, man.
And your faith lies in this. How much of this thing the Lord did put like everything on your shoulder? Your faith lies in the faith of the other 144,000. Because if one of their faith don't be fulfilled, then none of us get the kingdom of heaven, brother. So as we be converted, you gotta strengthen your brother, because you don't know who is of the number. If you are, I am, you like it, and it's important that the Lord did it like that. That way, no man can really he can't say he this or that. He can't even really boast. He can't do anything because he don't know who's of who. But if your faith was contingent upon me converting, then that's the way the Lord made the ministry, man. And I think that's a fire way the Lord did that, man. That's unique.
Yeah. Imagine if Daniel knew he was Daniel. He'd
For
be
real.
mad. The Lord, he said he hides what is saying Job, he hides pride from men.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, if Daniel knew he was Daniel, he'd be cutting up, right? So it's good, for brothers to not know that they're of that number. It keeps us, where we're supposed to be at.
I got that scripture. You got go ahead. You got it. I got the scripture that I mentioned.
This is Romans 12. I'm gonna go back to the point. This is Romans 12:3. It says, "For I say, through the grace given to me, to every man that is among you, think not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according to the Most High has dealt to every man the measure of faith." You got it, brother.
Yeah, every brother has his own measure of faith. You're not supposed to cry to the Lord like, why not me? How come I can't be an elder? I'm older. How come, that's off. You're supposed to be grateful that you're in the truth and to not measure yourself amongst other men and to not think of yourself highly either. I know this breakdown. I watched all of the elders' videos. I know this, I know that. I know about Revelation 13. Like, come on, man. How you be proud that you got something for free that was given to you and you boasting in it, man? That's off. But you got it, Kaya.
Yeah, the reason why the Most High can boast, basically, go on a limb of saying he did this, he omnipotent, because he's omnipotent. He knows all, he has all, he created all, he spoke, gave the word to do. So that's when you can actually, like even when the Lord said, he said, who else besides me? What other God besides me? That's a whole different level of basically, showing like, look, I'm the one that's the creator of all things. I get a word to create all things. So that's a whole nother level. But this Luke 22 and 32, this is what I had mentioned. It says, but I have prayed for thee that thy face fell not. This one's I wish I was saying, Simon, Satan desire to sift you. Because this is the way that Satan gets brothers, make them think they weak or they feeble. They don't know as much as other brothers, when you don't never know as much as other brothers. Because if a brother know one thing you don't know, then now what? Like he knows something, one thing. It could be one thing. It's like, no, so knowledge is you on a higher knowledge, is way greater than that. It's a greater cause for that matter. It says, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Because he's like, hey, your faith is contingent upon strengthening your brothers, man. You got it, bro. I had mentioned that. I want to get it.
God, the water. Right. If you can give me Hebrews 3:12 to back up what the brother just said, because it's super important for us to exhort each other, to boost each other's faith. Because like the brother said, we're not getting the kingdom until the whole elect is sealed. The Lord didn't say, I'm going to wake up this one dude and then the kingdom is going to come. No, he said there's 144,000 men.
This is Hebrews 3:12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living power.
This is an evil heart of unbelief. All right. Unbelief is evil. All right. People in the world think evil is like you robbing a bank, you You got a witch, doing the cabbage patch over a cauldron, stirring up an evil pot. Those are forms of evil, but the ultimate evil is not having faith in the word of YAHAWASHI. When you start to lose faith, that's evil. But this is the point. 13.
Verse 13. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
So Satan is coming at brothers every day. All right. You have doubt demons. You have brothers questioning themselves. You have brothers, dealing with the world, 1 foot in the truth, 1 foot out the truth. Satan is pulling at brothers constantly. So those of us that are more seasoned or more established, we're supposed to exhort brothers. Again, that's the purpose of the body, to keep us all, tightly joined together and fit. Yes. Yeah, I brought this out. A point has been made. Brother, had anything else?
No, it was cool.
Con. So yeah, and keep pushing. All right, stay diligent. All right, don't give up. If you've been given the Lord's name, take it and run with it, man. All right, going back to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Just stay fervent. So Abaratazadis was edifying to the elect. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, bahasham, double honors to the apostles and elders of great Millstone, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect. Shalawam.
Shalawam.